you're not empty, you're loaded, and finding your potential when life throws you a curve. Life is always throwing us a curve. Um, People, I think they get what they're doing is, and I've done it a lot of times, they're looking at, and I've looked at what I don't have. We're looking at our lack, not what we do have. So, for an example, someone that I was speaking with, they had either lost their job or quit their job, and now they don't know what to do. Maybe they can't find another job. They have limited monies, and I think that, they're looking at, I feel like I'm a fraud. Well, haven't we all felt that way? But we're really not fraudulent. We're not being a fraud. We're just trying to reorganize and decide what we want to do. Um, I've had, two massive changes in my life at age 27 because of my addiction with drugs and alcohol and all of that. I mean, I lost everything. I lost a business. I lost a two-story house. I lost 3 vehicles. I lost motorcycles, and I lost my relationship. I lost everything. I didn't have even 2 pennies to rub together, and someone helped me for a short period of time. I mean, my mom always said, or says, "Put on your big girl pants and pull them up, and do what you need to do." I've always had that fight in me. And I think we all really have it in us. Maybe we're listening to the wrong people. Maybe we're listening to the wrong things. Maybe we're listening to that self-doubt and that negative part of ourselves. We do have those neuro pathways in our brains, and but they can be reprogrammed. So I wanted to talk just for a few minutes about, you know, self-worth, and whether, you've lost a job, you've lost a relationship, you've lost a loved one. Um, my life changed drastically. I've been a nurse 29 years. I haven't practiced in a hospital since 2021, when I almost lost my mom, and I walked away from a very lucrative career, but time was more valuable than money. And time is more valuable than money, but I know we need money to pay our bills. I think I it's about mindset. It's about, okay, so we're looking at, okay, you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it, here's one way you can look at it. I don't have a job. I don't know what to do. Say, I'm trying to make it on Substack. I'm writing. I'm, you know, things just aren't going well for me right now. Is that true? Partially, but is it the whole truth? Absolutely not. We handle things and we look at things, differently from our own perspective. But so what are our experiences in life? What are we good at? I'm, when I walked away from nursing, it was hard. Listen, because of my past and the abuse and addiction, all that. I love to control things. I want things to go a certain way, if it's within my power, and if I don't see things happening, I try to get them to go my way. I always say, I don't wait on God. Um, and it worked very well in my career as a nurse, especially in the ICU units, intensive care units. You better know what to do, and you better know the next thing to do really quick, or people are going to die. So that part of me that was in me when I was born was excellent for that career. Excellent, but not so much in my personal life. And being impatient is not so much, in my personal life. But so those skills are great, but they were great then. We look at our experience, we look at our skills, we look at what we think we're good at, your attitude, towards things. So I've heard people say this, and I believe it to be true. Well, they'll say, well, first they'll say, I'm not an expert. Well, yes, you are. Think of where you were 6 months ago and what you knew 6 months ago and what you know now. So when you're speaking to someone, say you're teaching them something or uh, consulting, and I know a lot of people don't like that word, or coaching, um, you're doing it with more experience than someone that was like you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, right? So I was saying when I walked away from nursing, I had no idea, you know. I knew I was gonna take care of my mom, and I have 10 acres, and I have plenty of stuff to do out here, and there's never a boring moment, but I didn't have that, being able to, when I say control, also teaching people and educating people and, trying to help them better their lives. Um, I didn't really have anybody to talk to. I'm out here on the farm in the country, outside of Gainesville, Florida, but I'm not in the city. I'm out. And here's the thing. I think that if we're not sure what to do, the thing is to sit with yourself. Go inside yourself, however you want to do it, pray, meditate, whatever you want to call it, and think about, and really, I think sometimes it doesn't, we're up here too much. I know I am. Go into your heart, into your spirit, and even ask yourself, ask God, ask whoever you ask, you know, what is it that you enjoy doing? What makes you happy? I mean, we do get stuck from time to time, but there's no reason to be down on ourselves or negative about it. I understand not really knowing what next step to take, but we can know it if we just sit down and think about it. Pray about it, go into our hearts and our souls. The other thing is to write it down, make a list. My grandmother used to say that all the time, make a list. She would say, when I was trying to make a decision, the pros and the cons, and see which outweighs which, and that would help me make a decision. Um, what I do on Substack, I came to Substack, wanting to teach people about health and help them, become better and stay out of the hospitals and do prevention and natural things and do natural medicine. I hate to even say the word medicine, but natural health cabinets, like instead of taking aspirin, take this. Instead of taking, you know, ibuprofen for pain or inflammation, do turmeric. Or whatever, and I think there's such a need out there because there's a lot of sick people. What makes them sick? Usually stress. Stress will kill you. But it didn't go the way I thought it would. I have over 1,060 subscribers right now. But the thing is that maybe that's not the thing to do on Substack. So do I say, "Oh, I failed and that's it, and oh my God, I need to get off Substack and all that?" No. Pivot. Pivot. That's what we need to do. There's a lot of baby boomers now that are, getting out. They're retiring. I am 65 now. I turned 65 in August. I don't feel it. I don't act it, but that's my age. And so, you have to do that pivot. So I started pivoting. I started seeing, when people were commenting what they were saying, what did they want more of? And now, I'm going to go to podcasts. And one of the main reasons, well, there's a lot of reasons. I won't go into that. I'll do it in my welcome podcast. But probably one of my first podcasts is going to be about, how we think about ourselves and our self-worth. I mean, I just did an article on it. People paying, they'll go out and pay $5 to $7 for, I think they call it a Starbucks latte. I don't drink coffee, but anyway, and they'll buy, two a day or say two a week, but they won't pay $30 a month to learn about how to better themselves. And they'll pay for all kinds of courses and then end up usually not taking them. I mean, what do you really want to do? So what am I start thinking, what am I really good at? Or what do I love to do? I'm good at a lot of things. And that's a problem for some people too. We have too many options. You're good at teaching. You're good at cooking. You're good at gardening. So what do you do? Well, you pick one, you try it. If it doesn't start going well, you pivot. It's not a failure. There's no such thing as failure. It's just a stepping stone to the next thing. But I love, love, love to uplift and encourage and help people. There's things, and I think a lot of people can do this. I'm not special, but I can see situations with people, and maybe because I've been in them so many times in my life, where they're down and out, they may be depressed, they're not sure what they're doing, but I can look just by looking at them and then maybe even speaking with them or reading some of their notes. And I'm like, I see all these possibilities with this, what this person could do to bring in money. And it's not subscriptions. People now are really big on digital products. I agree. Digital products are great. They're great. Have a program. Take some of your writing and turn into a podcast and put it for paid only. Sell it on Gumroad and Kit. There's just so many ways to make money. And when you speak with someone or read their writings or chat with them, on the chat or whatever, I can see these things. And so that's one of the things I'm really good at. And I love to do it because I remember when I was down and out many times in my life, some my own doing. And so, I think if we look at our talents, our skills, our experience, and here's the other thing. Say you're doing health and wellness, talking say just about grief. How many people talk about a lot? How many people write about it? A lot. Well, here's the thing. They're not you. They're not you. What you have is special. Give yourself some credit. We can say anything we want about ourselves. I used to beat myself up all the time. People think I was hard on them. I was much harder on myself. But I've learned that's not healthy and it will make you sick, either mentally or physically. And it's cyclic because if it affects you here, it's going to eventually affect your body. And when it affects your body, it affects your mental health. So, you know, instead of saying the negative things, what we call negative, that's what we label it, not positive and negative. You can do either. Why not say and do the positive things? Because, people believe different things, so I'll say it in different ways, right? Because there's different religions and different beliefs. The boomerang effect, right? So when you throw the boomerang is going to come back. You reap what you sow. What goes around comes around. So what we put out there with our words, with our thoughts, with our energy comes back. So we have to be really important it's really important how we speak to ourselves, how we speak to others. I mean, God, we need more love in the world, don't we? The main thing was all these comments and everything I'm reading and people that don't have jobs or people that want to transition. Say they're getting ready to retire or say they have a disability or they can't work for whatever reason and they want to make some money, we all have to pay bills. Everything I have is paid off. Thank God. Thank God. I worked hard to get there. Remember, at 27, I had nothing. I lost everything. Had to rebuild. But we all have to pay electricity unless you're off grid and you've got solar and all that. Okay, that's good too. But you still have to buy the solar panels and all of that and maintain it. So you've got to have some money. So what is your experience? What have you experienced in life? What have you overcome? Write about that because I can guarantee you somebody else is trying to overcome it too. It could be anxiety, it could be depression, it could be codependency, it could be learning how to write, learning how to speak. There's so many things that people are looking for that don't have the skills that you do. They're not you. Nobody can be you. They even research, even with twins, even identical twins, maybe, biologically things are the same, but they're different. And I've met some. So, I can say that from experience. So the bottom line is this. No matter where you are right now, and even if you're a person that's positive, and I'm a lot more positive than I am negative now, didn't used to be that way. Really, I beat myself up all the time. It wasn't healthy. And then I had anxiety and depression and all those things. We can create new pathways. It's there. I mean, I worked intensive care units. I did neurology, cardiovascular, thoracic, GI, general surgery, and neurology. And I've learned all these things. So I'm an expert in that. Now, I'm not an expert in childcare or birthing or being a mom. There was this couple that I know, and let me tell you, just an example. So they were both engineers and they met in school and got married. Well, they made very good money. She got pregnant and she had the baby. Well, she couldn't go back to work immediately. So she thought, you know what? I'm going to start a blog. This was years ago. I'm going to start a blog. Had she been a mother before? No. Did she know what she was doing? No. But as she did it, she wrote about it. It's called uh, How to Start a Mom Blog or something like that. So she started doing it, talking about breastfeeding and nutrition for the baby and then taking care of herself and all that. She had never done it before. She did it, wrote it while she was learning it. So she didn't even have experience. So think about that as well. So she started making money. Then she started doing digital products. Then she was making more than she made as an engineer. She got pregnant again. And she knew, even though she went to school to be an engineer and her husband was an engineer, even though they went to school for that, spent thousands of dollars in education and everything, she wanted to stay home and be a mom and have children. That's what she wanted to do. And mom and a wife. That's what she decided to do. And she started with no experience about that particular thing and learned and grew as she learned. She taught as she learned. So she ended up making way more than she did as an engineer, and her husband saw that. So he started helping. He knows tech pretty well, very well actually. Developed their own program. They had, affiliates where you could go here and there to get these different things, but then they decided, hey, we're just going to do it ourselves, and they learned how to do it. He ended up quitting his job as an engineer. So they developed their own product. Any of us can do this. What do you need? What do you want? Whatever you want. Listen, I ordered this little can opener, even though my hands are very strong. But I want to preserve them for out when, the hurricanes come here and I got to go out and chainsaw things and clean them up and all of that. But this came on the little can opener and I've saved it. I want to show it to you. Let me see if you can see it. It might be backwards. I don't know. Yes, you can. And I've heard it on TV and other things before, whether you believe you can or you can't, that's what's going to happen. So why not believe you can and start? And if it doesn't work, and I wanted to help people with their health in a different way. Now I'm doing it from a different angle. We'll put it that way, because mindset is everything. I mean, if you don't get your mind right, you got to get your mind right. You got to get your attitude right. And then there's tools and things that I've learned through the years, and that's what I'm going to be doing on my podcast. The thing is, like I said, people are getting down, they're getting out, they're looking. What are they looking at? They're looking at what they don't have. I did that when I walked away from $100,000 a year. I did that. What do I not have? Well, okay, I'm not around people now, and I'm not in the hospital, and I'm not having lunch with others. I'm out here, I'm taking care of my mom, which, hey, it's an honor to do that. And she's doing very well. There's a lot of things I kept looking at what I didn't have. And when we start looking at that, our mind goes that way. And then, yes, we get discouraged, we get depressed. And then instead of sitting up straight and having our shoulders back and smiling, we're like this. What does that do? That posture, rolling the shoulders in, it doesn't allow expansion of the lungs. This lung on the left's got 2 lobes because there's a heart there. This lung, here comes my nursing, on the right, there's 3 lobes. But, it constricts all that. I don't say it crushes it because it couldn't crush it completely or you wouldn't be able to breathe. But posture, so how we think. So just due to seeing this every single day for months now, they've lost their job. There's not enough money. They don't know what they're going to do. I've been there multiple times, and I'm here to encourage you, to uplift you, to tell you, number one, whatever it is you want to do, yes, you can. You can do it. And if it doesn't go the way you want it to, it's not a failure. You pivot. It's a stepping stone to the next thing. Maybe your calling, you know, what you're passionate about. My grandmother did tell me at a very young age, she said to me, she said, just because you're really good at something doesn't mean you need to do it. And I found that to be true. I'm very good at being a nurse. If you're in the hospital, you want me to take care of you, don't go to the hospital. Use prevention. I'm not saying there's not a place for it, but let it be the last resort. But I'm not doing that anymore. So I had my identity wrapped up in that. I'm serious. My identity was wrapped up in that. Caregiving, you know? But is that who I really am? It's part of who I am. It's not who I am. It's part of that. So I just want to encourage anyone that's struggling with anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's with paying bills. I don't care if it's on Substack, YouTube, it doesn't matter. Sit down, close your eyes, take some deep breaths, come out of here, which I know is hard for a lot of us to do. Sit there until you can come out of there, right? When thoughts come, just let them pass through like clouds. I had an acupuncturist. He ended up becoming a Buddhist monk, and he taught me that. He'd say, Kathleen, he'd say, just watch the thought and let it just go by. And then I get into my heart and my spirit and my soul, and then things come up. And ask yourself, or ask God, or ask whoever you ask, spiritual leader or whatever. Ask your friends. I've done that before. I've gone and asked my friends, if what would you say are my strengths? What would you say are my weaknesses? What would you say I'm really good at? What do you like about me? That's another thing you can do. And it matched up with what I already knew. But I was in that mindset. Well, I'm not good enough, and somebody will do it better than me. And then you start doing that comparison thing. Don't compare yourself with anybody. If you're going to compare yourself with anybody, compare yourself with yourself. Where was I 3 months ago? Where was I a year ago? Where was I 10 years ago? And where am I now? Huge freaking difference. Where was I yesterday? I'm not the same person today that I was yesterday. That's what I strive for. I don't really strive for it because I don't feel like I'm using any energy trying to do it. I just know that based on whatever happened yesterday that I learned from and grew from, that's in me. I carry it with me into today. And whatever I'm going to learn today from you, from others, from nature, from God, from whatever, I'll carry it with me to tomorrow. So we're not even the same we were the day before. Like I said, the woman that started the How to Write a Mom blog, I think that's the name of it, which they're doing something completely different now, but that's what started it. She didn't even have the experience to write about how to be a mom because she just became a mom. She wrote as she learned it. So we have no excuse. We could always make money, but we have to get out of that, mindset of, imposter syndrome. I don't know what to do. I did this and now that's when the opportunities really come because now you have time to think about it and speak to others about it and get support from others. And if you got somebody that's what they call it, negative Nelly or whatever they say, bye-bye. You don't need that in your life. You need positivity. And hey, none of us is perfect. And believe me, I'm not. But I strive to be the best that I can every single day. And that's why I'm here to tell you that yes, you can. I love this. I kept it. I just like, I hope this doesn't deteriorate. I just love it. Yes, you can. So I hope that helps. Please, you know, don't, I hate to even say give up because is it really giving up? I guess people can give up, but I say it's a pivot. Make that change, you know? Just pivot in the other direction. It is not failure. There is no such thing as failure. I don't believe it. I think it should be removed from the dictionary. It's a step. And maybe by that not happening, because if you're anything like I, especially used to be really bad at, if I don't see it going the way, I made the decision and I'm a very strong willed person, and I'm going to make it go that way. And then if things don't go like they should, I keep trying to make it go that way. But at some point, I have to say, okay, this may not be the way I should be going. This may not be that way. So I sit with it and then I go another direction. That's growth. That's growth. That's maturity. So, anyway, I do want to thank everybody from coming because I could like go on and on about it because I am passionate about it. I want people to feel good about themselves. It's so important. And we have every reason to feel good about ourselves. And this complaining, I mean, oh my God, I'm on 10 acres. There's 2 houses. My mama's alive. I've got turkeys and birds and skies that if I didn't have a light out here, it's pitch black. We're out in the country. Nature, everything I have is paid for. I have food, I have clothing, I have a home, I have friends. Maybe start writing down the things that you do have. I have no reason to complain about one damn thing. No reason. And now when I find myself complaining, I'm like, I call myself Kathy. Kathy, stop it. I say it to myself so I can hear it and I stop it. We're all going to get down. Things are going to happen. We have hormone changes based on nutrition and what we eat, based on what we think, what happens around us. But it starts with our mindset. Write down what you're grateful for. And, I know they talk about gratitude journals and all that. And some people say, fluff, fluff, whatever. No, I think there's something, if you don't at least write down, say it. Say it out loud so you can hear it yourself. But I do think saying it and writing it is like double whammy for those negative thoughts and those things. I mean, really, you just may not be seeing it right now. There might be that like slight veil, VEIL of doubt or whatever. We all get there. It happens to all of us. I mean, more than happy because aren't we all here to support each other and help each other? I mean, in life. So you never know when you're going to need something. So keep learning, keep growing, be happy. There's every single reason to be happy no matter what. I know that at some point, probably, my soulmate, which is my mother, who I love with all my heart, is probably going to go before me. Now, I could go before her. Let me tell you, age, illness, and disease does not determine who dies first. And I don't think we die. I think our spirit lives on forever in a good place. But that's going to be difficult. I'm going to be able to handle it a whole lot better now than I was before I started building relationships. And then I decided, you know what? I need to take it personally and not just online. There's people here that I love and I consider dear friends. But when I turned 65, they paid for me to join a fitness center that's got a pool. I love to swim. I'm swimming, I'm meeting people, and out of that, there's opportunities. I was talking to a lady in the pool the other day, and she said to me, she said, "Oh, you're thinking about, teaching classes on, growing because we grow food out here. The last few years have been hard. Um, and teaching health and wellness and all that." And she's like, "Well, I know a lot of women that would love to do that, love to learn that. And they could come out here. I could go to them. You could do it online virtually for people that can't do that. I'm also a licensed massage therapist. I do body work." We started talking about that. And then she knows someone that owns a few restaurants in Gainesville that loves natural, or I shouldn't say natural, but like heirloom seeds. So they're not genetically modified and all of that. And she says, "Well," and it's her niece, and they own 3 restaurants in Gainesville. And she said, "She could get her herbs and tomatoes and stuff from you, especially if you're using heirloom seeds." Now, I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't gone out, right? Look at those opportunities, all these. So it's like when we open ourselves up to the possibilities and that positive attitude, and that, I'm open for what possibilities and opportunities can come to me. There's so many ways I can make money right now. If I wanted to make more money, there's so many ways. My priority is my mom, but she's doing well. So I need to take this time while we're not in a hospital or hospice, if it comes to that, or whatever, and do what I love to do for me. And that's not selfish. I used to think it was. I give, even at the expense of my own body. And this is coming up because maybe it's some of you are the same way. You're worth it. You are worth it. And if you have to say it, say it. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I deserve it. God, Mother Earth, whatever you believe, open me up to possibilities for things to come my way. Change your mindset, and I guarantee you 100%, I'll give you the deed to my house. I guarantee you it's going to happen because everything's going to shift. The energy is going to shift. The mindset shifts. The faith, the belief, the whatever, it shifts. And people around you can feel it. Anyway, I hope that helps somebody on some level. Um, I'm hoping some of the people that I've been speaking with over the last few months and commenting and learning and meeting all these new people that are having this issue. And, if you don't, if life isn't throwing you a curveball right now, it will throw you a curveball. I always say you're either in something, you're coming out of something, or you're going in something. That is life. I've learned a lot in these 65 years, and not the easy way. I'm one of those people that, it's true because I fight it. I wasn't born to learn the hard way. I'm a rebel. I'm a warrior. I'm going to fight for what I want, what I believe. But sometimes you have to pivot. I want to thank you for your time. I want everybody to listen, give yourself a hug. I mean, really hug yourself. I don't know where you're at, but even if you're at your office, take a second. Come on, hug yourself. Tell yourself you're worthy because you are. Think of all the wonderful things in your life and think of all the possibilities. If I can leave you with that, that's the best thing I can probably leave you with. So, anyway, I'm stopping. All right. Bless everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time. I know it's very valuable and I appreciate it more than you know. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll see you later. Bye bye.